Welcome to one of the oldest Chinatowns in the world. Today we are here in the Chinatown in Bangkok to explore the market, to see lots and lots of cats because they are everywhere, but also to kind of have some food and to tell you more about the history of this gorgeous Chinatown. Chinatown here in Bangkok was founded in 1782. Yes, it is the same time as the Grand Palace was built, and it was home to the Tioswa population of immigrants. So in 1782, Tioswa immigrants were, the main population of ethnic immigrants, and they were a class of merchants. They were the most dominant ethnic group here in Bangkok. And there's a cat literally, can you film that, Josh? Walking over. Okay. Sorry, that was really distracting. Anyway, the Tioswa people, they come from what is now South China. So they come from Gaozu, Jiang, and a lot of people, a lot of ancestral Chinese people from Singapore, from Indonesia, from Thailand, Vietnam. They actually all come from the Tioswa Chinese. What is incredible actually is to imagine that all these streets, they just used to be kind of like jungle, kind of marshy, and these people built Chinatown to be the beating economic heart of Bangkok. So once the Tioswa people moved in, because they were merchants, they brought trade from China, but also other parts of South Asia and Southeast Asia to this center in Bangkok. And during the 19th and the beginning of the 20th century, if there was business to be done in Bangkok, it was here. If you needed something to buy something, it was here in Chinatown. And today, although it isn't as busy as it used to be or as economically significant as it used to be, it is still the beating heart of the Chinese community here in Bangkok, and it is a place where you can get amazing street food. I mean, Josh, my husband, had like the best soup he's ever had here, even though it had liver and chicken feet in it. If you want to talk about the history of Chinatown, we have to go back to the fall of Ayutthaya. And Ayutthaya is a city about maybe 30 minutes by train to the north of Bangkok. And it used to be the capital of the Siam Empire. King Taksin, Taksin the Great, had taken over from, and he had moved the seat of his kingdom to Thonburi, which is, if you have the Grand Palace, it is literally just over the river. And basically what he did was he asked the Tioswa people to help him get rice and other provisions for his new capital. And the Tioswa people, they helped him out really, really well, and to say thank you, what he did was he gave them land. And he gave them land over the river from his big palace, and it was great land, and the Tioswa people, they built shops and markets and everything, and it was amazing. One of the reasons why Taksin asked the Tioswa people to help him out was because Taksin himself, so he was a Ayutthaya noble, but he also had Hmong blood and he had Kyaosin blood. So he was kind of a mishmash of everything, and it was kind of like asking his own people to help him, which is why the Tioswa people did help him in the end. Before we go on, I do want to ask you to please subscribe to my channel. I'm a small creator, and it is very important for me to, to see people comment on my videos and to maybe give it a like so that more people can discover it via YouTube. As you can see, I don't get a lot of views, but every single like, every single comment kind of pushes the amount of views that I get for my videos. So the Tioswa people, they got the land, they got certain rights, they were really well regarded, and then Rama I came. Rama I was a good king, but what he did was he took over Taksin's palace, and he thought, well, it's not big enough, it's in a tactical, not very good place. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move to the other side of the river, and I'm gonna build my grand palace there. Now, obviously there was a problem, because that is where the Tioswa people had their district. That's where they lived, that's where they had their shops, where they did their merchant stuff. So what Rama I did was he gave the Tioswa people a bit of land outside of the walls of Bangkok, in a very marshy area with only like a very small road to connect into the rest of the city. And this is where we are today. There wasn't really anything in the area. There was like a Portuguese church, I think, and the rest was just like marsh and fields and banana trees. And even though the Tiaso people were given almost nothing to rebuild their whole district, they still built one of the most important districts in Bangkok history. A district where, you know, if trade had to be done, it was here. If there was money to be made, it was here. Especially in the 19th and the beginning of the 20th century, Chinatown here in Bangkok was booming with like all caps. Thailand signed a treaty with the British called the Bowring Treaty, and basically what it meant was that there was free trade between Thailand and Britain. And obviously, if there was trade to be done, it was here. So Chinatown really was flourishing because of the British. But it also had a bit of a downside, because Chinatown here was also a not very nice part of town, or parts of it, because it was a shanty town with, you know, a red light district, lots of opium dens, lots of city bars and nightclubs. On the other hand, if I was able to go back in time, I wouldn't mind having a nosy around here in Chinatown during that time. Anyway, let's show you a bit of Chinatown. This is Jawaharlal Road, and Jawaharlal Road can be seen as the beating heart of Chinatown here in Bangkok. Now, the beating heart, literally, we were so lucky because we came here, Josh was looking for a bin to throw away the plate, his amazing spring rolls came in. And basically when we stopped, a parade came by, and we stopped just by like a little altar. And basically it was amazing. There was people carrying like with the statues, there was Chinese dragons, there was music, everything. We were so lucky, honestly. Anyway, Jawaharlal Road is one of the most important roads through Chinatown. Jawaharlal Road was also one of the very first roads where they built higher buildings. Normally in Thailand, like buildings used to be like 2 or 3 stories high. Jawaharlal Road was the first road where they built buildings of like 7 or 8 stories, which still to this day makes it a very expensive street here in Bangkok. Another reason why Jawaharlal Road is significant is because in 1946, King Rama VII and his brother Bhumidol, who is King Rama IX and like a very well-beloved king who died pretty recently, and basically plunged the country in a year of mourning. That is how long he was. Anyway, King Rama VII and his brother Bhumidol visited Jawaharlal Road, and they were so interested in what was going on here that they walked around from dawn till dusk, from morning till evening. They looked at shops, they talked to people, they ate the food, and they loved it. And that is also one of the reasons why the Chinese community is so well incorporated into Bangkok society. Sorry, it's very busy here. Because there used to be like a bit of a tryst going on between like the Chinese community, Chinese Thai community, and the Thai community, and because King Rama VII and Bhumidol walked here, found it so interesting, that kind of
that is hot.
That kind of resolved itself. Sorry, if they were just moving something really hot. We're going to move somewhere else. We are here at Songwat Road, and Songwat Road is a historical road in the Chinatown of Bangkok. Now, Songwat Road means drawn by the king. It is thought that King Rama V, you know, the one that also made the beautiful monk's dress for the monsoon for the Emerald Buddha, has drawn this road on the map himself in pencil. So basically what happened was, this was a hodgepodge, like a shanty town of buildings, like I said earlier, and King Rama V, he wanted to make it a bit more, you know, have it a bit more planned. And so he decided to make streets through Chinatown. And this is one of the streets that he then built together with Jalrut Road. But this street in particular, he drew onto the map by himself in pencil. Along this road, it's a very calm road. There's a few bars, there's a few restaurants. It doesn't feel as busy or as night markety as the other roads in Chinatown. But along the road, you have some really beautiful, although dilapidated, historical buildings. And although there isn't that much to see, I do think that if you've got time to burn, it's a really nice area to explore. Anyway, I'm thirsty, I need a chang. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look for a bar and I'll get back to you next week or tomorrow for me with a new video about historical sites here in Bangkok. See you then, bye!